Hello there, I've got a gorgeous shadow box card for you with a garden theme. I have to admit, it's a lot of work, a little bit fiddly, but I think it's so worth it. So we'll show you what we're using. We're using the wooden garden cart, the sunflower. We're going to use the smallest one in this set. Here is your shadow box. Now this comes with a sort of a birthday theme, but we're just using the actual shadow box and the flowers in it. We have Life is a Garden. We're going to use the sentiment here. I'm going to steal this little sun from the Rain or Shine Necessity set. And we're going to create a little bit of an extra frame to go on top of our shadow box with the Stitch Square pegboard. Okay, there we go. Now, what I want to do is show you, first of all, what I've done with the shadow box. So I'm going to do a quick cut using just the outside piece here. Pop that onto a piece of coconut white card and just bring my cutting plate in. Give it a quick run through. Now this die doesn't have an outer cutting edge to it, so you can give a larger or smaller border, whatever you like. Let's pull these out, pop that back onto our plate. But what I've done is I've created a little bit of a larger space on my shadow box to accommodate the garden cart, just by nipping out this bar here and this bar here. Super easy to do. Couple little nips of your scissors, and that's all we've done. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is add on my frame that I've cut with the pegboard frames. I'm going to put a little bit of glue right around the edge, just a very, very thin bead. Don't need it too thick. There we go. I'm going to pick this up and lay it into place. Just sort of eyeball it so it's got a little border on the inside and the outside there, just to give a tiny bit more detail. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'm going to do a little bit of assembly, and as I get to each item I'll kind of explain a little more. I'm going to start with the sun, and I want that to go up in the top corner, and it's going to kind of tuck behind the frame. So before I put it into place, I'm going to peel off the mounting foam and just tuck this so it's kind of looks like it's in and out of the frame a tiny bit. Right behind there. That's looking good. I can go ahead and continue on. Take the rest of the mounting foam off and bring in my backing. And we will place that within our pierced area, and I'll give you a quick measurement on that. Okay, so the overall card size is 7 3/4 inches square, yes. And then I've just left a little, I've left like a almost an inch wide border on my shadow box. Okay, so several things I want to do next. I am creating my wheelbarrow. Okay, so now I've cut it out twice. Now this is going to be my lower one, and this is my upper one, and I used a little bit of distress ink through the die to give it a tiny bit of detail. But what I want to do is create a little spot for my sunflower. So I'm going to just nip away this piece here down to where there's a tiny little slit there, so you can actually just take that tab right off, okay? So I will put it into place on top of the wheelbarrow in the same spot. Okay, so I've created a little depth in there. So what I want to do is do my sunflowers. Now what I thought would be kind of fun with these is to cut one and do the center just like normal, but I wanted to add a bit of detail to that. So I brought in my Cosmic Shimmer Dries Clear Glue, and I covered up the center just like that. And I'm using some copper metallic micro beads. These have a little lid on the top there. And I might even be able to get so lucky as to pop that right on top and tip it. And then just push them back into that circular area if you've got any outliers there. There we go. And let that dry. So what you end up with is a really kind of cool looking center there. And it kind of just adds a little bit of detail to your flower, which I love. Put our little liner back in there. Okay, so I've done 3 of these. I'm going to move this one out of the way. I've done 3 of these, so they're already dry, and we are going to just use some glue and sort of glue them into place on our cart. And I think I'll put this one down a little bit lower. In fact, I'll put a little bit of glue on all of these there. And put this one over here. So I've created a little bit of depth there so I can stick those in, and pop this one right on top in the center up a little bit. And I want to add some greenery. So I've cut some of the leaves. So we'll just see if we can sort of sandwich them in. And I think if I take off a bit of stem, I can maybe pop these in and around easily. There we go. Do a few more of these. I've got a lot of little bits to this one, but I just think it's so cute all together. Put this behind. And don't worry, if you get your glue on there a little bit, it will dry perfectly clear, so it won't even show. We can stick a few back here, coming out the top, which I think is really cute. So it looks like you just have a wheelbarrow full of sunflowers. There we go. See if I can get that one on there. Isn't that cute? Really like the way that looks. Now I want to create a little bit of a place for it to sit on. So I'm just going to use a distress marker, antique linen, and I'm literally going to just scribble a background. Just scribble it down there. And we will put this into place. Got some mounting foam on the back, so it will go sort of in and across, even outside a little bit, but I think that's really cute. The other thing is I'm going to add a couple little butterflies here. We'll just put a few around. There's a bit of open area, so we can add in 2 or 3 here. Give them a little bit of a dimension. Pop those into place. There we go. And I've just put a tiny little sticky dot on the end of my pokey tool to pick these up. Just makes it a little bit easier. There we go. Let those set up. So now up in this top little corner, I've cut a lot of these little flowers, and they're really cute. You've got a stem on here, separate, and then you've got the little flowers you can do in 2 different sizes. So I've cut the stems in green, and I've just glued the flowers onto them. So I think we'll just sort of randomly put them into the background. Oop, wrong one. And I'll add a little bit of glue onto these and just sort of arrange them as I go. Up into the top corner. Oops. There we go. And around. Just sort of move them a tiny bit. I'll put in some purple ones. I like to have the colors kind of going throughout. That'll match in with our little lavender butterflies. Tell you what, I'm going to add a little bit of glue. I think I can just pick these up off some glue here. That'll be easier. Get some on the tails. Just sort of overlay them a little bit. There we go. A little bit on the tail. Pop that. So I'm just building up layers of those flowers. Put that one in there. Put a purple one in, right in the middle. Just work them all the way down into the bottom of that. A couple different sizes. There we go. I like that. That's looking really cute. Get that in there. Maybe one more. In fact, I'll trim this one off just a tiny bit so it can go down lower. In fact, it needs one more small one. Got to make it look even. There. up in that corner. So now we're just going to put our sentiment in there, and I just felt a little flower on the tail is all it really needed. So I've stamped it, or I've die cut it out of craft card twice and layered it up. I put a little bit of spray glue. Pop that right there, and it'll go right over the edge of the sun. Ah, just so cute. This is the kind of card I love. I just think that is such a sweet card. And if you have a friend that gardens, this would be perfect. So don't forget, our Show More section below our videos will give you all the products that we use as well as the code numbers. You can go to that and refer to it anytime you need to.